There we go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this Thursday evening edition of Biz Talks. My name is Fred Holmes. I'm an independent distributor with Zija International. My privilege to be your host this evening. The Biz Talks presentation is really for those of you that are invited guests and also for our newest distributors. Want to extend a very warm welcome to all of you who've joined us this evening, and in particular for those of you that have been invited as a guest, or maybe a friend or a work colleague or what have you has directed you to the YouTube link to watch the replay video. What Biz Talks is all about is sharing information about an extremely unique company, world-class leadership, world-class products, and timing that is literally just ahead of the curve, just ahead of the wave, if you will. And for those of you that are perhaps looking for a way to create a little additional income in today's economy, more and more people, more so than in the past 30 years that I've been involved in the home-based business profession, the average person is looking for a way to create, a unique way to create additional income rather than getting a part-time job or another job. A way to generate, it might be an extra $200 or $300 a week, an extra $500 a month, $1,000 a month. For the mass majority of people, that would be a game changer. And for many others, they're looking for a way to create a replacement income, something where they're not tied to a job, tied to somebody else's schedule, but be able to work from home. Tonight I'm in my home office. For those of you that I haven't had a chance to meet, this is my Zija story. A number of years ago, I was introduced to this company. I'd already retired from the network marketing profession. I'd had an opportunity to do a lot of things people only dream about. And at that time, I moved home to care for my elderly mother. And today, I've been able to build a business from home. This is my home office. My mother is literally, probably I'd say maybe 12 feet, 15 feet on the other side of that door from me. And so it's an opportunity to create, for some people, an extraordinary level of income that encompasses the most important things, being able to care for family, to be part of your family's life rather than spending your life at a job. And so this evening, what we're going to do is we're going to introduce you a little bit, tell you a little bit about our company, our products, our timing. Well, most importantly this evening, I want to introduce you to somebody that has really become kind of an icon in Zija International. Birdena Pridey was one of the people that launched our company a number of years ago as we entered our first wave. Many people know her story. She's a retired school teacher, spent 30 years as a school teacher to create her retirement income. But with her Zija business, she was able to duplicate that in 36 months. And I want you to think about this. Who do you know would like to have an opportunity to create a retirement income, but maybe doesn't have another 20 or 30 years to put into creating a retirement income? So let me go ahead and get started. Zija International. Many people have looked at other types of companies in the network marketing profession or what have you, and many people become disillusioned because a lot of these companies don't stick around. Zija International is very unique in that we've already exceeded all but 1% of the companies that ever get started in this kind of business, because we are now have been in business over 10 years. Less than 1% of the companies in the profession of network marketing last 10 years. And we've already exceeded that. We're approaching $1 billion in cumulative sales. This is extraordinary in our profession because there's really just a few handfuls of companies that have been able to stand the test of time. We call them legacy companies. A company that's been able to be in business 20 years or longer, do over $1 billion in sales, continues to grow to this day. Over the last, 60, almost 70 years that this profession has been around, there have been, tens of thousands of companies that have come and gone, and yet there's only a couple of dozen, maybe 30 companies that have been able to stand the test of time. And what's unique about Zija International is the corporate leadership. The gentleman that owns Zija International, the founder of Zija International, is a man by the name of Ken Brailsford. Now, you may not recognize Ken's name, but he is an icon in both the direct marketing profession as well as the nutritional supplementation profession. Ken is known as the father of encapsulation. He's the first person to take medicinal herbs and encapsulate them in gel caps to make it easier for the average person to consume the benefits of these medicinal herbs. Ken launched his first company in the early 70s, Nature's Sunshine. Many of you have heard of that company. It continues today, over 40 years, approaching 45 years in business, billions in sales. Ken went on in the 80s to create his second nutritional company, launched that under the name of Enrich International. It now continues over 30 years in business, billions of dollars in sales, continues under the name of Unicity. And Ken had long since gone into retirement. And he was introduced to this unique botanical, the foundation of Zija International's products, a tree called Moringa oleifera. And he was so motivated after watching an hour-long documentary that aired on the Discovery Channel back in, I believe it was 2002, on the nutritional power of this tree. He was, well, in his words, he was spiritually prompted to come out of retirement, bring this product to market. And certainly when you have a man like Ken Brailsford, who's done something that nobody's ever done in the history of this profession, he's created 2 of those 24 long-term companies. Clearly, that was an incredible, fortunate circumstance that Ken made this decision to bring this product to market. Now, fast forward, Zija International has become one of the fastest growing companies in the profession of a company our size. We today are completely vertically integrated. We own all the plantations that our products are made in. We own the manufacturing facilities. Incidentally, our manufacturing facility is a pharmaceutical grade manufacturing facility. We're the only people in the nutritional supplementation market space that manufacture our products to the quality and purity of pharmaceutical grade quality. We have literally tens of thousands of square feet of manufacturing, warehousing, distribution space, Class A office space, and not only are we completely vertically integrated, we are scalable today with the infrastructure that is already in place, debt-free, bought and paid for. We could literally produce over $1 billion in sales of our products on an annual basis, yet we're just a small fraction of that as we speak. And that brings us to timing, because when you have an opportunity to have a company that can immediately grow to $1 billion in sales with products that people need and people want. We've expanded well beyond our original Moringa nutritional drinks. We have healthy weight management, all natural sports nutrition products, first to market clinical grade essential oils, and a complete line of personal care products, the shampoo, conditioner, body soap, and so on, skincare products, without the chemicals, without the additives. When you have a company that is that well developed, poised for significant growth, this is where the timing comes in, and it is so much better to be able to be in the right place at the right time. And I want to give you an example of the type of people that are looking for these kinds of opportunities, how they got started, and the results they've had. Birdena, I'm going to bring you over to this side of the presentation because I want to give the folks an opportunity to hear your story. And I started to share a little bit about Birdena's story when I got started. I've had the good fortune of knowing Birdena now for a few years. And Birdena, welcome. Let me get you unmuted here. Hello, Birdena. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
I hear you just fine. You're looking good. Thank you for joining us this evening. I was just sharing a little bit about your story. I had a chance to meet you actually through your brother, Clinton. And but Birdena is actually become part of the Zija culture and the story of Zija, because in the early days, she was able to do something that was really kind of unheard of for us back when we were such a small, even smaller than we are today, company. She was able to create a replacement income that as a retired school teacher, I believe you'd worked something like 30 years in the schools, created your retirement income. And in 3 years, you were able to duplicate that with Zija. What took 30 years as a teacher to build, it took about 3 years to double that income with your Zija business. And I'm excited to have you share a little bit about, you know, your Zija story with the folks, because we can talk a lot, Birdena, about, you know, the things that me and you know now that through experiencing, you know, the leadership and support and strength of the owner, Ken Brailsford, the incredible products that both of us have been using for a number of years, you know, the awareness of the timing. But for somebody looking at our business, I think what most people want to know is who's getting involved, how do they get involved, and what do they do? And so maybe let's kind of back up a little bit before Zija. Tell us a little bit about, you know, what you were doing before you were introduced to Zija.
Thank you, Fred. I tell everyone, if I can do it, you can surely do it. I was an elementary school teacher for 35 years, actually, and farmer's wife. We live in the outback of Kansas, 20 miles to any town. And so a little bit more difficult maybe when you just see the same people all the time, but not really. So when I was introduced to Zija, my brother Clinton called me and he said, Birdena, I want your whole family, our whole family on Zija nutrition because I'm worried about our health. So my husband and I both started taking the Smart Mix because that's all that was available at that time. And it wasn't very long before my joints felt better and the knots on my feet started disappearing. We had better energy. I lost weight. So did my husband. We slept better. So right away, we saw that there were results.
Well, and you know, that was in the early days before, frankly, before anybody was making any kind of significant money with the company. That's kind of where we hang our hat, you know, use our products. You like our products. You know, you've actually seen my transition. I mean, today, I'm, you know, close to mid 60s and I weigh what I weighed in my early 20s. I mean, I'm the only guy I know that's as old as I am that, you know, can you know, no medication, work out in the gym and that sort of thing. And so, you know, I know some of the health results you got using the products. Obviously, we can't make health claims about our products, but, you know, you've had some significant results. Now, you were using the products, you had the family on the products. What motivated you to actually engage in the business end of the business beyond just, you know, getting your family on the product?
Well, this was the best part for me. Remember, I'm on a farm, 10 miles of dirt road to go anywhere. I'm a grandma, reaching retirement age, and I wanted a sports car. And when Zija came out with the Mercedes-Benz program, I knew that was the way I could get it. And so I did. I got my first car ever that was a Mercedes, an SLK convertible. And I love it. And I have to tell you, that turned heads in Leota because I'm the only one with a Mercedes and totally unexpected.
I understand where you live. There's the people with pickups outnumber the people with cars, right?
Yes.
And tractors are a close second to pickups. Cars is a distant third, right?
Right.
Okay, so when you started with Zija, you made that decision. You set a goal. You wanted to hit the rank required to be able to drive one of the Mercedes-Benz from Zija, paid for by Zija. What did you do, you know, day one, what did you do to get off to a fast start and accomplish those goals?
Well, first I listened to your training. Every Saturday morning you did the fast start training and it told me exactly how to get started. Make a list. And well, first of all, I needed plenty of product. We came in with the largest diamond kit so that we had plenty of product to share or to sample out and to use ourselves. And we made a list, just like you taught us how to do, and started peaking and passing interest, one customer and one distributor at a time. And some did and some didn't, and some did later.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to tell you, this is something that you can work from home. You can take it with you. There's no limits.
Well, and you're a classic example of what can be done today. Unlike, say 30 plus years ago when I first started in the industry, we didn't have the internet, we didn't have, email, cell phone, smartphones and that sort of thing. And we literally, I mean, can you imagine where you live having to every single time you were going to go meet somebody to share the product or maybe share an opportunity to create some additional income, to jump in the car and then drive there?
No.
I joke with people, I say, yeah, but where Birdena lives, they have internet, but they got to bring it over in a bucket.
And it's slow. So sometimes it freezes, but it still works.
Well, Birdena, it's been an absolute joy and pleasure to work with you and to see the growth that's taken place. And, and I wish I had, if I'd been thinking, I would have been able to pop up that picture. Geez, I wonder if I can do that right now of you in the Mercedes. Let's see here. So the question is this live? Yes, it is. Okay, let's see if I can do this real quick. How do I share my screen? I don't know if I'm going to be able to do this on the fly. I've got this great picture of you and your Mercedes out in the cornfield with the top down.
Yeah, I have the picture here, but my internet is so slow I can't see a picture at all.
Aw.
So it wouldn't do me any good to show it.
Well, we'll post it the next time we have a chance to get you on board and share with us, folks, with the folks about your story. One last question for you, Birdena. We've been for some time in preparation for Zija 2.0. We've achieved that, a couple of magic marks. Okay, we're approaching $1 billion in cumulative sales. We've just hit our 10th year anniversary. Ken Brailsford, who's actually been in retirement, has come back to run the company and to do what we did the first time around, which is to create that first wave, but the second wave going from 100 million a year to 300 million a year and beyond. That's where the true fortunes are made. That's where we're at. Obviously, as we've been talking, you're going to be part of Zija 2.0, the second wave. This is where the fortunes have historically been made in companies that can, stand the test of time. What are you doing today to prepare yourself for the launch of Zija 2.0? What are the activities that you're engaged in today?
Fred, I would say don't wait, and sharing with people. So after this call tonight, I have another call lined up already. And I would say just share with everybody You would tell me there's no magic. It's just talking to people and sharing what we have.
And you said the key phrase a few moments ago, some joined, some didn't. Some bought the product, some didn't. And those that didn't, some did later. And that's really what our business is all about. Sharing. Some people will have the ears to hear, some won't. That's okay. There's plenty more down there. Birdena, thanks so much for joining us. I appreciate everything you and your team are doing. And I'm excited about what's going to be happening with you and your team members as we move forward into Zija 2.0.
Fred, I appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to let you go back to the other side here. Let's see. Change the role as attendee. So, folks, in particular, those of you that were invited guests, I mean, obviously, this short little presentation hasn't been all the information you're going to need to make a decision on whether this is for you. You're going to want more information about the business. Perhaps you're going to need to have more information about the products. What's important to understand is that this company, while we're literally a very small dot on the radar, has everything in place to go to the next level. And rather than having to do what people like myself and Birdena did in the early days, working with a very small selection of products, with really no results yet with the company. I remember talking to people about, well, who's made money with Zija? Nobody yet. You get to be the first one. Today, we have the documentation. We have the diversification of products that every single person will find something that they can get passionate about. And you have an opportunity to leverage all of the work that's led up to this point in Zija's history and then rise with the company as we literally we're going to produce, we will double the size of this company in the next 12 to 18 months. And if you can be ahead of that curve, imagine the benefits that you could have. So in closing, two things. For those of you that are invited guests, get back with the person that asked you to be part of this broadcast this evening, or maybe, directed you to the replay. Get your questions answered. Figure out what it is you need to know to make a decision to get involved. Because with you or without you, Zija will become one of those rare companies in the industry that becomes a legacy company and $1 billion a year company. Now, if you make that decision to join us, I'm going to encourage you to get back with the person that asked you to be here and get the information, because this Saturday morning, Birdena mentioned something about in the early days, I used to do a telephone conference call called Saturday Morning Fast Start training. This Saturday morning, we are going to conduct a special Fast Start training for brand new distributors. It's going to be integral to the launch of your business. And so the person that asked you to be here, they'll get you that information. It'll be Saturday morning, 10 o'clock Pacific time. That's 1 o'clock East Coast time. I will be conducting the Saturday morning Fast Start training. And I'm just going to share with you the things that I learned over 30 years ago that helped me leave my career as a cross-country truck driver and literally retire in 10 years. And then came out of retirement for the Zija company, this opportunity, and in 3 years was able to retire again. And this is going to be my third time coming out of retirement to capitalize on Zija 2.0. So one last shout out to Birdena. Appreciate everything that you've done, not only for your organization, but for the entire company at large. Looking forward to seeing all of you on Saturday morning. Thank you for joining us, and see you Saturday. Take care now.